review for A Cure for Wellness, 2016. Although in some places it says 2017, early 2017. So, but an ambitious young executive is sent to retrieve his company's CEO from an idyllic but mysterious wellness center at a remote location in the Swiss Alps, but soon suspects that the spa's treatments are not what they seem. So this stars Dane DeHaan, Jason Isaacs, Mia Goth, Celia Emery. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing her name correctly, but there's a lot of people in this because he goes to this spa in Europe. It's Switzerland, but I guess it was filmed in Germany. A beautiful castle, and to retrieve this guy, just like the synopsis says, directed by Gore Verbinski. He's a director that I actually really like. He made the trilogy of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, which, some people hate them. I mean, I think the first one's a really good movie. And the other two, Dead Man's Chest, At World End, not so good. Maybe Dead Man's Chest is okay. I don't know. I remember liking that. I saw it in the theater. At World's End is pretty bad. Beautifully shot movies, though, all three of them. He did Rango, the animated movie with Johnny Depp. Yes, he did The Lone Ranger. And I watched that once. I remember the last act was actually pretty good, but he did Mouse Hunt, which is a pretty funny movie from the 90s. The Mexican, The Ring, the remake of Ringu. Oh, The Weatherman, too. So, he's an interesting director that, I thought I'd check out the movie because I knew it was Gore Verbinski. It's made years ago, but I just never got around to seeing it. But since it's Verbinski, I wanted to check it out. And overall, it's a pretty interesting movie. It's maybe too long, but I don't know. I just found it very interesting and fascinating what's going on. Almost like an extended X-Files episode in some ways. Now, I'll get into spoilers because it's hard to talk about the movie without any spoilers. So overall, I like the movie. It's a very beautifully shot movie. It's about 2.5 hours long, so it is a little long, I'd say. Great acting, beautiful photography. Just a very strange movie, though. So basically, Dane DeHaan is he's trying to get this guy back to New York because his corporation is going to do a merger, and that will require the SEC to investigate. And basically, his board says to him, "There's these irregularities, and we're going to blame you, basically." And they don't say it in so many words, but it's understood. If you get this guy back, and then we'll blame him. So, because he's the CEO, but he wrote this letter saying he doesn't want to come back, and and they think he's lost his mind. That's what they say. That's what DeHaan says. So he goes there to Switzerland to find him, and he tries to talk to the guy. They're like, visiting hours are over. There's like only a few hours in the day you can visit people. He kind of tries to find him on his own. He ends up breaking his leg in a car accident because he's going to leave he's gonna leave because he talked to him, and the guy said, "Okay, fine, I'll go." And then he's gonna go to his hotel room in the city and make a phone call. He get into an accident because there's a deer. They hit the deer. The car crashes. He breaks his leg. Then days later, he's in a bed with a cast on, and so then this kind of makes him want to stay there because he can't move really well. And Jason Isaacs is like, "Oh, well, you can go through this program, you'll feel great, and then you at the end you can leave and take this guy." So he's still trying to find the guy again, and he can't seem to find him again. Mia Goth is there, and she's just kind of this young girl in this blue dress. Kind of reminds me of, I don't know, for some reason parts of this movie remind me of Alice in Wonderland. Like she's Alice stuck in Wonderland, kind of. And she's telling him that no one leaves, no one wants to leave because, like, why would you want to leave? It's so beautiful here, and it's this health spa, and they even have like great food, and so he's still trying to figure out what's going on. And basically throughout the course of the movie, he begins to find out that they have this water from this aqueduct from the Swiss Alps, and um he's drinking it one night, and then he puts it down, he sees there's a bug in it, and it's like this kind of like snake, like little tiny thing, and he kills it. So then he begins to kind of be like, okay, this is weird. People are acting very strange, like they're almost like zombie-like in some ways. And basically throughout the course of the movie, he uncovers that this place was built by a baron 200 years ago, and the baron was doing these experiments on the local peasants. The baron also was obsessed with purity, and he the only woman that he wanted to marry was his sister, but she couldn't get pregnant, and then she finally got pregnant. But then the villagers rushed in, killed both of them, burnt the place down, tore out the baby from her womb, threw the baby in the water, the aqueduct water, and that's kind of the tale. And he's not really sure what's true or not. And then he begins to uncover that things are not as they seem. And I don't know if I want to say the twist at the very end. It's pretty good. I actually guessed the twist though, but he uncovers that in the water in the aqueduct there's these eels, and they're basically killing the people that are at the center for wellness, and then feeding them to the eels. And before they do that, they're extracting this in this blue vial, this serum that Isaacs and Mia Goth take, which in the end actually makes it so you age very, very slowly. It's a crazy movie because in the end it's revealed that Jason Isaacs is the Baron. He's over 200 years old. Mia Goth is the child that survived, so it's his sisters, their child together, and that he's waiting for her to become a woman, and that he wants to make a child with her, which is pretty disgusting. So it's like he wants to make a child with his own child, but his own child actually, the mother is his sister. So it's very odd, but so he uncovers this. I'm not going to go through the plot totally because there's many twists and turns. you know, including a scene where Dane DeHaan is strapped to a chair and gets one of his teeth like drilled, the healthy tooth, and they just rip it out. And that scene, he's in this thing and there's this contraption on his face. Kind of remind me of A Clockwork Orange. And then parts of the end, they're all like dressed in these weird outfits that kind of reminded me of Eyes Wide Shut. Kind of like what do the super rich get up to type of thing. So it's a very interesting movie. Very crazy. I mean, in one scene, Dane DeHaan is in an iron lung, which is like the end stage where they extract this blue vial liquid, which Isaacs and Mia Goth drink, and they call it vitamins. But in this one scene, he's in an iron lung, strapped down. Jason Isaacs puts a tube through his mouth and feeds him like this serum with eels in it, and they go into his stomach so that the liquid can be extracted from him, and then those people die. They dry out like mummies, which is why their teeth are falling out. Some of them, which they never really get into except for DeHaan, but one of DeHaan's teeth falls out. He gets the feeling that this water they're drinking actually, in the end, dehydrates you. And then the bodies are dehydrated, and then they're fed to the eels, which then create the water for the people to drink, and it all starts again. And then they dehydrate the people, they extract the liquid, then they feed their bodies to the eels, so on. Because the eels usually live 12 years, but in this special alpine water, they can live over 300 years. So, just a crazy movie. I mean, in the end, Isaacs was, the Baron was burned when the castle burnt down, but he survived. So they're actually, in his basement, he's actually growing faces. He puts the faces on, like kind of like it's like Phantom of the Opera almost. So he has these fake faces that he's wearing around. And when DeHaan in the end stops him with Mia Goth, he straps her in bed, and DeHaan interrupts that, stops him. He starts fighting DeHaan, and he rips off his face, and you can see he has a burnt face, and just a crazy, crazy movie. Very crazy. There's a bunch of theories online onto what it means. People are like, this is about mind control. Some people think it's like purgatory. I don't know. I think there's some Alice in Wonderland in there too. Maybe Mia Goth is like Alice or something, but I don't know. Maybe not. That's just kind of what I was thinking when I was watching it. But um, yeah, it's a very weird movie, and unfortunately, I think it bombed because Gore Verbinski hasn't done a theatrical movie since this. So 2016, 2017, depend on where it was released. We'll just say 2017, I guess. But because yeah, before this he did The Lone Ranger, and that was a huge bomb. Then he did this, that was a bomb. This is definitely one of those movies that it has like a $40 million budget, so it's kind of like I just can't see it making that much money because it's such a weird movie, and it's like 2.5 hours long. I do think a lot of people won't really find it that interesting, but I did. I really liked it. I'm not really describing it great, so um, I don't know if this sounds interesting at all. You should check it out. I mean, I guess the ending that he was the Baron, and that Mia Goth was the child. I thought maybe the Baroness survived, but is either the Baroness or the child. She's the child, and yeah, he was one of the writers of it too, Verbinski and Justin Hathy. Who helped write Revolutionary Road and Snitch and The Clearing, Red Sparrow. So, um, but yeah, it's a very interesting movie that Hollywood doesn't make that many of because it's $40 million budget and it made only 26 million. So although it takes place in Switzerland, the film was shot in Germany, shot in 5 months. The movie was filmed in different locations in Germany. All the mountains seen in the background were added in post production using CGI. Wow. Well, they look pretty good. 52 minutes in, a ring reflection is visible in the water tank as the lid closes. It resembles the signature image from the ring. Didn't notice that. First horror movie for me, a goth. Whose career's just blown up, after this. But she's in that new Maxine movie, which actually looks pretty good, I think. Wasn't really into X, but and haven't seen Pearl. So yeah, filmed at Castle Hohenzollern in Germany. So very eerie feel. Definitely reminds me of like an extended X-Files episode, like I said. So, but yeah, Cure for Wellness, Gore Verbinski. Check it out. Very, very strange but interesting movie. So, and if you could smash that like button, that'd be great. Helps the channel a lot. And that's about it, though. I'll see you next time.